it's amazing that the clothes can just help you.
Clothes are powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like optical illusions, like tricking the eye to go here instead.
Yeah, like if you ever have somewhere you want someone to look, you can totally do that. Like if you have a really slim waist, you could just wear like a coloured belt and instantly your eyes are going to go there.
Yeah, that's really smart. You know the body shapes you mentioned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So are they're 3 in total, or are there?
No, they're more than that, but I always take them with a pinch of salt because everyone is different. It's just a really good way of kind of understanding and visualizing.
Yeah.
So they're mainly like kind of fruit based.
I love it.
So like the strawberry, the pear, the hourglass, which is your one, and there's like a kind of slender athletic.
Okay.
And there's also an apple.
Okay, so thank you for agreeing to sit down with me for a little Q&A.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I've got a few questions from the YouTube kind of community post I did, and then once we've gone through those, I think I'll just ask some of my own.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I've got so many questions about fashion and everything. And if you're tuning into this video and you haven't seen our previous ones, do you want to do a little introduction or anything?
Yeah, so if this is someone's first time here.
Yeah.
So I'm Natasha Itzcovitz. I'm a personal stylist, and I am a stylist for everyone and anyone really, man or woman, any age, any budget, can take you to high street, whatever suits you.
So if you want to see anything like services, we've done some videos together that kind of show what they're a bit like in person. So we've done a wardrobe edit, did a colour consultation, and today we've done like the personal shopping style, and I'm actually wearing some of the clothes from that right now that ironically match my iPad. That's got all the questions on it. So yeah, but we just thought it's like a wrap up to the end of that session. We're just going to do a little cozy ASMR Q&A style video. So one of the first questions we've got here is, how do you give the illusion of more height when wearing clothes?
This is an interesting one, and it's quite personal to me, and I think you were also saying that you're on the smaller side, so I think it's something that we can both kind of agree with. There's quite a lot of kind of optical things that you can do. One of the things as well is you really want to make like a long diagonal line on your body. You can do that in print as well, like things like a pinstripe or like anything that has a stripe going downwards is lengthening. I would also say if you're wearing like one colour across your whole body, it makes you appear like one column of colour, which is really good. There's nothing breaking you up. So like you today, you're in an all green monochrome outfit. You don't necessarily need to, battle to find the exact shade, because that can be really difficult, but they're really similar and they're in the same family. And this one as well kind of has a pleat as well, which gives a line. So actually, as a lengthening outfit, this one's really lengthening.
Yeah, and I think I love it, but I do think it makes me look much taller when I wear this than I actually am in real life.
Yeah, and I would say definitely, I'm petite myself. I'm 4'10" or something. One of the things I would say is avoid oversized clothing if you can. Personally, before I became a personal stylist, I was wearing a lot of oversized stuff because, I wasn't making the effort to find things that fit me. I was like, I'm small, it's never going to fit. I'm just going to buy an ordinary item of clothing and roll up the sleeves because they're going to be too long. Or, I like this kind of oversized look. It looks really cool and grungy. I'm just going to do it. But I didn't realise it was drowning my frame. Right. You really want to show that things fit you well, and you want to show that you've got a body. Because if you wear something too big, you look like a little person with loads of fabric, right?
Right, yeah.
So you just, you want to just kind of show where your shape is. That doesn't mean you can't wear a maxi dress or that kind of thing. You just need to wear one which is, it's not too big. It's here's my waist, and here's my legs, and it's the right length. If you're crafty and you can hem stuff, then go ahead. If not, you can get it done fairly cheaply as well. Say those trousers that you tried on, if you do want to get them hemmed, you can.
Right, I see. Like with rolling up the bottom of the trousers as well, does that help with height at all?
Yeah,
or?
definitely. I think a roll up is good as well. Like sometimes I accept that, you know what, this fits really good everywhere apart from the bottom or the sleeve, and then you just do like one simple roll up, and then you can see your shape, and actually it looks like quite an interesting detail as well.
Yeah.
Usually a roll up kind of puckers in kind of a sleeve and makes quite a nice shape, so it can be quite nice to do. So I would say it's good, like if you can show your body in some form, doesn't mean like you have to show all of your actual skin, but just like show that you've got like a shape and a figure. So like this top, for instance, like we can see that your arms, we can see like your waist and your body, so you're not drowned, but you're also not showing all of your skin, but you're still showing that you've got a figure.
Yeah.
So fit is really important. And I say if you're really small like me, like I'm a mad level of small, I would say I'm like 29 and I'm buying like 11 to 12 kids wear, and the fit is so much better. So just don't be afraid to buy kids clothes, because nowadays as well kids clothes is getting bigger.
Yeah.
It is, it really is. And like 11 to 12, sometimes some of that's too big for me, so just don't care about the size tag. Like a lot of the clothing will have a height written in there, so a lot of them write my height in it, so I can see that it's going to fit. Which means that I can get cropped jackets that finish at my waist, which is really important because all the other long jackets just make me look so much shorter. So just showing that I have a waist and cutting myself in the middle just makes me look really proportionate and looks like I'm wearing clothes that fit as well. So just don't be scared where you shop from. Like a lot of kids' clothes look like adults, like this is 11 to 12 kids.
I had no idea.
And
you
it
would
just
not
fits
be able
me
to
so much
tell.
better, because if I bought a normal ordinary maxi dress, I can never get the length correct at all. Like I just returned one on ASOS that was a size 2 because it was too long.
Gosh, I think as well with like every different online store, all the sizes seem to be slightly different.
Yeah.
Which I can imagine is like really annoying because like, well, that might work for one store,
Yeah.
the others won't as well.
I'd say definitely shopping in general, be wary that every store has a different fit. Like Next is quite big.
Oh really?
So like my mum's also 4'10", but she's a different shape to me. So she likes Next a lot, but it comes up huge on her.
Oh wow.
So like if you can find a petite somewhere, then definitely do it. Especially if you're curvier, because you'll get the correct length and it can go up in size. But if not, don't be afraid of kids' clothes, because like nowadays they're not all like sparkly unicorns. A lot of them are quite nice.
Yeah, I remember New Look having quite a nice section when I was in there, because up until sixth form I often bought like the 9 to 12 range in New Look, because it's always quite fashionable.
It is quite fashionable, and like it's a lot of it's still pretty like appropriate as well. It's not too like childish, and the fit will be better, which I think the fit is always key, tall or small. You just want the fit to look correct. So like if you're a tall person, don't be afraid to like try and find a tall brand, or like even shop some menswear for like some basics that will fit you like in the correct place.
Yeah, so I guess like fit rather than anything else. Yeah, and I think trying on the clothes with you today like showed me like when they did accentuate my figure more, it really did just compliment me.
Yeah.
Whereas I know it's easy by habit to not worry about that and just like kind of buy the, like it might look nice on the hanger but not care about that fit, but it's really important.
Yeah, I think as well, like it's very easy to be swayed by like trends, like oh it's really trendy to wear something oversized, but it's so personal.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. It's really good advice, especially because I'm quite small as well, so I can really see the difference today, like having it all one colour. Like, it does seem a lot like lengthier.
Oh, and also like print as well. Small person, small print. Tall person, big print.
Okay.
That's kind of the rule of thumb. If you're a small person, a big print is going to overwhelm you. But if you've got a small print, it just kind of makes sense. Like, kind of look at like really nice details. If you're a small person, keep everything really delicate because you're small. So, like, don't wear like a massive chunky necklace. Like, nothing too massive on you. So, like, this necklace is really good as well because it's like quite small and it's a really nice little detail. Like, you can like add some personality by details like fun buttons and things like that.
I never really thought about that with necklaces, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So there's another question,
Mhm.
slightly unrelated to fashion.
Okay.
What's your favourite biscuit?
That's such a tough question. I'm a really indecisive person. Probably not like the greatest personal stylist thing. Like a lot of the time I'm like, I just put them all here. Here's all of the place. Depends what counts as a biscuit.
Ooh,
Also depends on your mood, right?
it does. Can always do with the jammy dot.
She have a jammy dot. Like cookies. Can't really go wrong with cookies. Is that a biscuit?
That's a really good
Is a cookie a
question.
biscuit?
I would count it as a biscuit, but I don't know if it is.
Let me know in the comments.
Just like this fashion video and all the comments are going to be about biscuit.
Cookies are not biscuits.
I think because an American cookie basically means biscuit, right? No? I don't know. I
don't know. American cookies.
American viewers, do you call biscuits cookies? I don't know.
Gosh.
I might just be me being dumb. I don't know. Anyway.
Bourbons are nice as well.
Oh, yeah. Custard creams. Okay. So, I have, this is another viewer's commented, I have wide shoulders and small hips. How can I look more in proportion?
So, to me, like we did a body analysis together and like we kind of call them different things in the stylist world. That to me sounds like a strawberry.
Okay.
So strawberries typically have a wider shoulder, a smaller hip, and they're quite busty. So I think if you want to kind of imagine the shape, really what you kind of want is like this, right? So maybe what you need to do, so if your shoulders are like this, you really want to put more volume on your bottom half to equal yourself out so that it's kind of the same flare. So what you probably want is a lot of volume, like a kind of a big wide skirt, and you can have loads of detail on that skirt, and then everyone's going to be looking there and it's going to be more balanced at the top. So you want to keep your top half really simple. So like something really simple, like just a block colour or like black or something like that. Black suits you. And if you are a bustier wide shoulder person, let that bust breathe. You know, have like it kind of open, like a V-neck or something like that, or an open shirt. And then you would want to be looking like a really big skirt or like a really big, like wide pair of trousers that will really balance you out. And then your silhouette will kind of go in and out and you'll create a kind of hourglass look to yourself.
Right.
So if you have more detail, like you have pockets going on and zips and buttons and all of anything you can think of, if you put all the party downstairs, then it kind of balances yourself out. So you want to be avoiding any detail on your shoulders. Like you don't want to have like a frilly shoulder or anything like that, or a big chunky necklace, because the eye is going to be going up there. So really you want to have all the drama downstairs.
Right. Would that be shoes as well?
Shoes, anything, yeah, like a chunky heel, like some kind of really interest in your heel. Just like think about how you can draw the eye there. So I would avoid anything too fitted below. So like a skinny jean or a legging would be a bit of a no. If you want to wear a dress, just think about having the dress flare out in some form, a little bit like a 50s ball gown. Something like that would be really nice. And remember to tuck in so that you can see that you've got a waist as well. That's really important. A lot of people don't tuck in their tops, and I think that can kind of skew the shape that we want to create. You really want to draw attention to yourself, and you want to go in and out. So if you can find things that kind of like have more fabric on the bottom, that would be better, and just more detail too, like prints and things like that. So I did have a lovely strawberry client, and what I did was I gave her a flared trouser, and it was in a print as well. So like all of the drama was there. She was quite busty, so it was just a plain black top, but it was quite low so that her bust was breathing. It was a really nice look.
Oh, I can imagine as well. Like, so is the end goal to go like that, did you say?
Yeah, like an hourglass.
Is that like everyone wants to aim for that one, to look in proportion?
Yeah, you just want to have your kind of, if possible, the illusion you want to create is that your shoulders and your kind of hips are in line.
Right, okay. So like you can be a strawberry, or is there a few other ones?
Yeah, so there's also a pear, which is the flip of that. So
Right.
pears tend to have like really small shoulders, really small bust, and then a bigger bum. So for them, it's the opposite. You're putting all the drama on the top.
Right.
So for a pear, maybe you've got like a pattern top with like frills and like a pussy bow neck, and then it's tucked into a plain bottom.
So yeah, like the flip of the strawberry.
Yeah. Because you want to create like balance, so that your top and your bottom look equal if possible. That's just like for that question. If you want to appear in proportion, that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's really helpful, even to just know generally. Like I didn't realise that. Like capturing the eye of like whoever's looking and making it go down here instead would help make those equal. But it makes sense when you explain it.
Yeah, and just like the shapes I think that you're showing as well will help.
It's amazing that the clothes can just help you.
Clothes are
in that
powerful.
way. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like optical illusions, like
Absolutely.
tricking the eye to go here instead.
Yeah, like if you ever have somewhere you want someone to look, you can totally do that. Like if you have a really slim waist, you could just wear like a coloured belt and instantly your eyes are going to go there.
Yeah. That's really smart. Yeah. So the next one is how to dress. So it's a bit similar. How to dress to minimise a large bust.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of the body types that we call them will have a larger bust, and I always say let the bust breathe. So if you're wearing a high neck top like what you have today, it doesn't necessarily work so much for busty ladies because it creates this really long bust.
Right.
So I would say letting it breathe is by looking at V-necks and kind of sweetheart necks and like a wide scoop neck or like a cowl neck. So just like, not like I'm saying show all the boobs, but just kind of show like the area above the boob if you can. That will really help. So you can do that in multiple ways. You can even just like wear a shirt but unbutton it to create a V-neck without actually having a V-neck.
Right. It's so funny because like I think in my head I almost, like I mean I'm not a bustier person, but if I was, I would immediately think cover up and like cover them up, don't show them, and wear something like a turtleneck like this.
But it would definitely, it would make it look more, you would just get like all this long fabric.
That makes sense. It makes sense when you explain it.
And
And
if
like
you put like a line here, it will almost cut them in half.
yeah.
If you can do that in somehow, whether that's like a square or a V or a round.
Yeah. Is it as well, like I guess if you're wearing fitted things, they're more pronounced, so like would you wear like looser clothing or?
No, I wouldn't say wear looser clothing because then you'll be kind of swallowed by the clothing and it will just kind of, because you could be quite busty on the top but then the bottom is quite small. So what I would say is if you are like busty and you've got like a V-neck, I would try and tuck it into something high-waisted.
Right.
So that you can then bring it back in. And if you are like, there was the lady before who had like slim hips, so she, she flared out afterwards.
Yeah, that's really interesting hearing all the kind of like logic that goes into it.
There's a lot of kind of visualizing the shape if you're like a visual person, and I would say like lingerie is also just like think about like getting lingerie that fits you as well. You don't want to have like a seepage over the top.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for like the questions that are on my community page. But like
Thank you, viewers.
Thank you. Yeah, I was wondering if I can just ask some generally. I guess we kind of covered this, but like the body shapes you mentioned a lot. So are there 3 in total, or are there?
No, they're more than that, but I always take them with a pinch of salt because everyone is different. It's just a really good way of kind of understanding and visualizing.
Yeah.
So they're mainly like kind of fruit based.
I love it.
So like the strawberry, the pear, the hourglass, which is your one, and there's like a kind of slender athletic.
Okay.
And there's also an apple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so an apple shape is kind of like, it's not such a curvaceous body shape. So like most of your curve is kind of in the middle, and then they tend to have quite like slim legs.
Right.
with that body shape, I would say it's good to show off those slim legs, and you want to kind of skim over your kind of torso. What's really nice, I don't know if you know like what a shift dress is. So like maybe when I go into eras a little bit more, in the 60s they would have these dresses that were just, they were like a little bit like almost shapeless, and they kind of flared out like that, and they just kind of glossed over the body, which was really nice, and they were very short.
Right.
And they're really good because like if you've got kind of like lumps and bumps and things like that, it goes right over, and then you can like see these lovely legs that this figure has.
Yeah, so there really is like dresses and clothes out there that kind of suit each figure.
Definitely, and I think it is so personal. Like if you sort of book a personal stylist like me as well, not only can we take into account like what you personally love about yourself and what you don't so much, because there is like all the things that you know you're taught like about this body shape, but if this person particularly loves this area, then that's my goal, always to help you show that off. You know, we can break a few rules, but we have to make it work for you as well.
Yeah, you want to feel comfortable and like feel your best in the clothes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been really nice, like being able to have someone to, because like we met last time, so I was able to, before we did the personal sort of styling part of it, I was able to tell you like, yeah, I don't really like showing my boobs, like I kind of like high necked things, I like long skirts, and like you really were able to like grasp that before shopping and stuff, and somehow grasp it more than I did myself, because like I don't manage to coordinate this well. Like I really love all the way it fits together, so there's something like really helpful about having someone else's eyes as well to like see it objectively.
I think definitely as well, like there's a lot of rules that we can set for ourselves and we don't realise that there are ways around them. Like you kind of go, oh that's it, I can't do this thing, but actually there's like other ways. Sometimes I think you do need like someone's eyes as well. And like I've been taught a lot of kind of optical tricks as well that I just love sharing with people, because like they blew my mind when I learnt them, and I just like want everyone to know.
Yeah. Do you think for like people who are getting more into like wanting to learn about like body types and like fashion and stuff, is there like some sort of good like magazine or like website out there you'd recommend, or that like you personally like?
No, I don't really know any magazines or websites that specifically, because like a long time ago when I was like working in retail, like in sales, they would give us a version printed out with like some really basic body type things that we'd stand at the fitting room and tell customers if they ever wanted to hear it.
Right.
Although like sometimes like I have like just a natural intuition for it, but then on my styling course they really went deep into it.
Right.
Like about how to balance curves and things like that. Also it's for men as well. I think that's one of the things. A lot of men don't think personal styling is for them, but we can also help men with their body shapes. I think a lot of men don't realise that like they can definitely like they can do things too, like I can make you guys look taller and smaller, and like I can, like there are men that's slimmer that want to have a bit more volume, or maybe they're like really muscly and they want to show that off without it looking the other way. Like sometimes when you're a bit muscly it can look like maybe it's like body fat and things like that, but they actually want to show that they've worked really hard for these muscles, so it's about kind of like balancing it. Or like some men kind of have these like kind of very V shapes and like things like that, so there's a lot that can kind of go into it.
Yeah, I guess it sounds so bad, but it is easy to forget because the conversation is also often so centered on like skirts and dresses and all these things that people forget. Like, yeah, guys can do this too. Just because we're talking about skirts and dresses and necklaces, guys can do
guys
that
can wear
as well.
skirts and necklaces and dresses too.
So like it's open to anyone. It's very personal, not gender or anything like that.
Yeah, I think personal styling is for everyone because we all wear clothes, and I think a lot of people like would appreciate another pair of eyes as well.
Yeah. I think it's almost like whenever you take a picture of the outfit you've styled me in, I can see it so much more objectively, and just having you there, it's almost like constantly having that like new pair of eyes to like see it on me, because sometimes when it's on us. I don't know if we just look at our faces more, or we look at the places we're less confident about.
Yeah.
But I sometimes do struggle to see like if it actually looks good or not.
Yeah, I think we all kind of like that second opinion. Like a lot of the time when I go shopping, I'm still taking room pictures and I'm like sending it to people like, what do you think? I can't decide. I'm being indecisive about it. And it's just nice to have like other people like it too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I remember back in school, like you'd go with friends and do that. And I feel like that seems to happen a lot less as we aged, and like we're probably out buying boring work clothes, which don't have to be boring like you said. So it does kind of emulate that feeling of like going with a friend from school and buying clothes together and both getting excited about looking good.
I think like definitely in a lot of my services it always helps having another person there. Like when you're doing a wardrobe edit as well, like it can get quite tiring, and it's nice to have someone there that can give you a push as well. Like I found a lot of people feel like they wouldn't have even like gone through a wardrobe edit if someone wasn't there with them.
Yeah.
Because it's tiring.
It's quite to try all the different things, right?
Yeah. And like a lot of the time, like my mum always says when I do her wardrobe edits, she's always like, yeah, I wouldn't have given it away. I would have held on to this holy thing. But then you've got someone next to you saying you've got to do it. It gives you that push, I think.
Yeah. I like the idea of doing it with other people. Is like fashion can be fun, and like,
definitely can be fun. And like so many times you go with someone else and they got some new opinion that you're just like, oh my gosh.
Right? Like when you did the buttons behind me earlier, I'd never seen that before. That was so cool. Yeah. Like when the blue jacket you buttoned at the back. It's just something I'd never thought of.
Sometimes as well when you do a wardrobe edit, that's when you can really have a play with how you button things and how you roll things and that extra thing. Like in our head you just put stuff on, but like sometimes having that play is when you really discover new interesting combinations.
Yeah.
Like a white shirt can be worn so many different ways.
Yeah, I love it. And like having that opportunity to like play in advance means that when you are in a rush in the mornings, like you've got it in your mind already.
Like I don't know about you, but sometimes it's good to the day before set your clothes out as well, and then you're just picking them off.
Yeah, definitely. I had a short period of time where I did that, and then I got too sleepy.
Yeah.
I'm really unorganised, but yeah, I think doing this today has like really inspired me to like put more care into what I'm wearing as well, because I have got into the habit of like rushing for things, but actually like I factor in time for makeup. I should probably factor in some more time to like think about my outfit as well, and if not, time to look at the image of what I've like.
Because it is self-care as well, like picking out outfits, because it's making you feel good as well, so it's all part of that like really personal kind of moment that you have with yourself.
It does, yeah, and you can feel the difference when you're wearing the outfit, like you're just so much more confident.
Yeah, like you look incredible right now.
I'm just here like, I look like a mermaid. Yeah, so it does give you this whole different like feeling. So
yeah, and it's like really powerful like when you have like important things in your life as well. Like clothes are important, unfortunately. Like you wish they weren't, but like first impressions and things like that, like for jobs and dates and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can change your whole impression so much from clothes, right?
Definitely, they're really powerful. Like even just like what colour you've turned up to, like in that day.
Yeah. It's nice that we can like make them all work for us and have fun with it.
Yeah, because you want to express yourself, I think, as well. I hoping like what we tried on today was like you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like I keep talking about it, but I love them so much. Like, I think the whole combination of the colour consultation with the styling is so helpful, because like doing just one or the other, like I don't think even if I knew the results of these colours suit me, like the pastels, I wouldn't necessarily know where to find them online, which ones still suit my body, because it's all those different things coming together.
Oh yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things. I'd say that's why a lot of the process, like with my services, is like the colour and body, then the wardrobe, then the shop. It kind of all flows really nicely.
It does, yeah, and I feel like it's like a learning experience. Like I've learned so much on the way, and like now I have done this stage, I know that today's results was like I loved the pastels, and so now I can just maybe as the seasons change try to do that again in like spring or summer and keep learning and keep trying more different styles. And there is like some tighter, like the pink dress, like I think it's tighter fitting than most things I own in a good way, like
That's good.
letting me like realize some like ground where I didn't think I was comfortable but I actually am, like accentuating my hips like that, it's fine. And so it's like a really good confidence boosting like process as well.
Sometimes as well, like sometimes when I'm shopping with someone in person, it's that weird thing that I've picked up that I'm like, this is a risky one that usually pays off really well because it's just that little bit out of their comfort zone but not too far.
Like baby steps.
You just got to try it sometimes because you never know. Sometimes it's the wildest picks that you've done which are the best ones.
When you go on like this kind of shopping trips, are they always in London or do you go like everywhere? Or
so far they're in London, but I'm happy to travel, like, but usually I go to wherever that person is. So I usually pick the area based on that person, like their budget as well. Like if you're someone that wants to shop like in the kind of more fancy areas of London, then we go there. But if you like want to go in, like sometimes my mum wants to go to Harrow and it's not very well stocked, but we do it and we find stuff there.
That's interesting to hear. So like I guess because I don't always know where my viewers are based, but like not necessarily in London, it's quite cool.
And even like if you're abroad, like we can still like do the online, like what we did today. Like the mood board was pretty easy and accessible. So.
The mood board was great because like I just got in one glimpse, I could see your whole like vision, and then choose which ones in that I could afford or like suited my budget, but also which ones I thought would match together. And it was like a really good way of like not having to go to the shops and film, but also actually getting to appreciate all the stuff together. And like you said, that mood board's not going to disappear. Like I can still look at it and buy any of the ones I didn't get. So
and it's like still an inspiration board as well. Like you'll see it and you'll remember like some of the things we talked about as well, and like in the future if you want to come back to things.
Thank you. It's been like such a good session today,
really
like trying everything, and thank you for answering the questions as well. Like hopefully that answered some people's kind of like worries about figures and things. And I'd love to have you again if you're willing.
I would love to.
It was a lovely excuse to buy clothes.
And it's so much fun shopping for you. Oh my gosh. I still have loads of things that I keep finding and I'm just going to keep sending you clothes. This is what happens, like, I'm going to keep seeing stuff and be like...
Oh, I love it. But if you guys want to check out Natasha's channel as well, I'll put all the links down in the description if you haven't subscribed already. And hopefully we'll be seeing more of us together sometime in the future.
And if you guys want a more personalised experience like this yourself, then you can just like get in contact and we can book a free discovery call and like we can chat about like your personalised problems and make a session that works for you. Like they're all so adaptable, we just kind of make them work. So.
I just like talk about what's best for, in my case, for like filming and stuff.
Whatever your situation is.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks for watching.